Byrne,
Here.
trustee Grebe,
Here.
trustee Williams, trustee Hebda,
Here.
trustee Schultz,
Here.
trustee Markwart,
Here.
trustee Cook.
Here.
We have a quorum present. Would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Any citizens that wish to address the board tonight on anything other than, what's going to be on committee of the whole? Because if you're here for that, you'll be recognized for the committee of the whole. Okay. Assistant Village Manager, TIF eligibility study and TIF redevelopment plan.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before you tonight, and as well as what was included in your packet, is just an update on the TIF plan and the eligibility study that was conducted for the Melody Farm development at the northeast corner of Milwaukee Avenue and Townland Road. As has been previously been discussed at the village board meeting, we have discussed the TIF boundary map as well as the eligibility study, which have concluded that the property at the northeast corner of Milwaukee Avenue and Townline is in fact TIF eligible. It meets a number of different factors, including declining EAV versus the consumer price index for the greater Chicago area, as well as environmental remediation work that's required, as well as additional flooding and other unused disposal sites that meet one-time criteria. This eligibility study, as well as the redevelopment plan itself, were all placed on file at the village clerk's office on February 5th, pursuant to the TIF Act and its regulations. What's before you on the consent agenda tonight is two ordinances that are also required pursuant to the TIF Act, which I'll kind of go into brief detail here. The consent agenda, for the first ordinance, involves the TIF plan eligibility report and establishes the joint review board. And that's the adoption of the joint review board is when all the taxing bodies that are found within the TIF boundaries will meet and review the TIF eligibility report and make a finding as to whether or not the property is in fact TIF eligible. The date we're looking at for that is March 9th, which is Wednesday at 5 p.m. The second ordinance is an interested parties ordinance, and that is required pursuant to the TIF Act. And essentially what it does is it allows individuals who want to be kept informed as to updates and information related to the TIF. And it's good for approximately 3 years. And so whenever we have JRB meetings or any other meetings related to this development, we will have their names on file and notify them of the meetings, times, and other relevant information. Related to the TIF plan, just so you're kind of aware of what's in it, there's a lot of legalese and a lot of just kind of boilerplate information that's in there, but it boils down to really a number of things. One, the TIF boundary, which is the northeast corner. It also relates to the use that's being proposed for the TIF, which is a mixed-use retail and residential development, and then also the TIF budget. And that amount is related to the assistance that the village is offering to Regency for assistance with the project, as well as issuance costs as it relates to that, in addition to any other eligible costs related to the TIF that's required by the TIF Act. And it's important to note that this is all coming from incremental taxes from the TIF area and is for the 23-year life of the TIF. So that's just important to note in terms of looking at the amount and understanding the scope of it. It doesn't guarantee anything other than making sure that funds are available to pay ourselves back and to pay for any other related expenses that we may incur as part of the TIF.
And there's always a caveat on the TIF. You can extend it another 12 years
With state legislation, yes, you can.
to 35.
Yes.
if we have another great recession. Is that accurate, Joe, or?
I don't know if it's in an additional 12 years. I'd have to verify that.
No, it is. I'm just pulling your chair.
Everything about another, another recession is accurate.
Well, in any event, okay. So the 9th, we have to pull everybody in from all the taxing districts, so. How many is that, about 12?
Probably slightly less than 12. It's all the school districts, the library district, the park district, the joint action water agency,
2 fire
Township.
protection districts?
just one fire protection district, a countryside fire,
Oh,
as
okay.
well as the library.
High schools, grammar schools, yeah, okay.
Correct.
Okay, all right, trustee Schultz.
Is the north border the same as the border between Libertyville and us?
Yes.
Okay. All right, just wanted to guarantee that that the property didn't go into Libertyville, but
No,
everything, it's, the entire property that we're talking about, the Regency's talking about, is within the corporate limits of Vernon Hills. Okay.
Nope, that's exactly right. We're not able to go across our corporate boundaries for TIF. It's the same reason on the southeastern boundary. It kind of goes up kind of north of the roadway, because south of the roadway actually belongs to Matawa.
Now,
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
do we need to have the citizen on board, the citizen advisor, or what, citizen reviewer,
So the member of the public will be nominated by the representative from the village, which is Mayor Byrne, and nominated at the time of the JRB.
okay, and,
Go ahead.
no,
I got somebody I already recommended.
good, good. Non-taxing governmental bodies. In other words, the one that comes to mind is the CV ditch. I don't know if that goes over that far. Do they have to be, we don't have to dot any i's and cross any t's with these non-tax, okay.
Correct. Pursuant to the TIF Act, it specifically spells out the taxing bodies that are part of the Joint Review Board.
Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, all right, so we'll have that meeting. How much in bonded indebtedness do we have on the existing TIF at 45 and 21? Nikki?
Right now, out of the 20 million that we have outstanding, I believe it's about 7. Let's see.
Was there preponderance on the Nike site for that whole road improvement?
Well, we just issued last year 2 years ago for the police station, and last year for the Starcom network and the OPA property, and just refinanced the remaining of the 2007 bonds. So let's see here.
7. Does that sound right, John? 7? How much we paid back? Well, I'm sure Nikki will find that. That's all it is right now? over
I
there?
was gonna quickly add up what we spent in here in my head.
But I mean, it's all that's left. But there's probably, what, 15 million to start?
Oh, yeah, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because we spent, land acquisition wise.
7, 8 million bucks.
Yeah, and then we did additional road improvements and various infrastructure improvements that I think were, I mean, say million, 3 to 5 million, if I recall correctly.
Well, it's good we paid that much down.
We We did the improvements to 45, we paid for the roadway, Port Clinton extension, we bought some land from CLC, we did that, the intersection improvements,
Yeah.
and some related drainage improvements, besides acquiring the Half Day Inn property and related
Yeah,
smaller
yeah,
parcels
yeah.
associated
Yeah.
with that, so, yeah.
Okay, so, well, press isn't here, right?
Correct.
So, okay, I'm done asking questions. Nick, you still perusing over
I'm
there? or-
perusing. We'll get there.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. And that's, we've retired a lot of debt there, even without the buildings that are coming.
Right. I mean, we're gonna go the full distance on the TIF out to 2027, I believe.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go the full distance.
But it'll be done.
It will be done, and if we manage our money properly in there going forward, we will be able to abstain from going into the general fund to pay off
Right.
the debt. In fact, we'll be able to reimburse ourselves for the $600,000 loan that we gave ourselves for technical assistance for the project. So,
Okay.
Okay.
And how much, I guess he had Opus performed. I wonder how much quicker we would have paid, it would have been paid off before the 23
Yeah.
years,
oh yeah.
Yeah,
that would have helped because,
Sure.
you would have had the townhomes, the 27 townhomes going online plus the 66 additional
Right.
units. So, yeah,
Probably would have been significant.
no, absolutely, it would have been. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, we have 14 million on a principal basis. If you include interest, it's 16 million. That includes the piece that was just refinanced, so that's much less than what it was because the interest rate originally was closer to 6%,
Right.
and now we're sub 3. So that's made a
1.8
big
or something?
difference. Yeah,
Because we're AAA rated, huh?
correct.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to dwell on this. Okay. All right, so what else we got to talk about on this tonight?
That's it, Your Honor. Following the JRB meeting on March 9th, the public hearing in front of the village board will take place at the regularly scheduled board meeting on April 19th at 7 PM.
Yeah, okay. All right, okay, thank you. Finance Director, Nikki Larson.
Okay. Just a quick update on the proposed budget process. We are planning to distribute proposed budget documents by the end of the week, so those will be delivered. The entire document will be online, posted next week as well for anyone watching at home that really wants to take a look at it ahead of time. Presentations are planned to begin on March 1st with an overview of the budget, Public Works and the capital plan, and the police department has again requested to go first, so they'll kick us off in terms of department presentations. The second round of presentations will be on March 16th with the administration budgets, community development, finance, and the proposed budget hearing is scheduled for Tuesday, April 5th. Any questions on that?
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm
Oh,
sure
that-
we'll all get our book, right?
Correct, by the end of this week.
Okay,
Um,
that about it?
That's about it for the budget. The other item I have on the omnibus agenda this evening is an approval of an audit engagement with Sikich LLP. The village's existing contract expired April 30th of last year.
Yeah.
So we did issue a joint proposal process in November with Lake Forest and the village of Cary. We received 9 proposals, and 3 of those firms were selected for interviews. All of them had prior government experience. The partner that would be serving on our audit is in the audience. His name is Dan Berg. Dan, if you could stand. Sikich is based out of Naperville. They audit over 50% of the AAA communities in Illinois right now. They're in the top 35 accounting firms in the U.S., and as a firm, they have over 30 years of governmental experience, and our partner, Dan Berg, has over 30 years of public accounting experience. And he's available if you have any questions.
Okay, well, I guess we might have questions after he's done auditing,
True, very true.
We're relying upon you and staff's good judgment.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, well, the proof will be in the pudding.
It's true.
All right. Well, welcome and, hopefully you don't find anybody buying horse farms.
You don't need a separate vote on that for any legal reasons?
We do not. That can be approved as part of omnibus.
Okay. All right. Omnibus vote agenda. Is there a motion to approve items A through F?
So made.
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call, please. Excuse me.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Green?
Aye.
Trustee Williams? Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Motion carries. Unfinished additional business, approval of village board minutes of February 2nd, 2006. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion is second. Is there any comments or questions, deletions or additions? If none, roll call.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Green?
Aye.
Trustee Williams? Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Motion carries. Any new business to come before the board? Trustee Cook.
Just a kind of a communication thing, the Lake County, I believe it's out at the museum, they have one of the very rare copies of, an original copy of Shakespeare's works, which is, 400-plus years old. And it's been there for a while, will be there, I believe, through the end of this month and a little longer. It's an amazing manuscript, especially considering how old it is and that. And they've been doing some things with other groups that have been performing some of Shakespeare's works, including the Kirk Players of Munline, who are doing a Shakespeare show this weekend. So if anybody's at all interested in that, it's quite a unique opportunity. And that play with the Players is this Saturday at Munline High School, and I believe it's free. But it does cost to get to see the actual manuscript.
Yeah, but that's at the location, the new location, at the office building they bought and refurbished on Winchester, isn't it? Isn't it a new county building, Jana, in Winchester? For the
That's the permit.
museum.
Well, the new building on Winchester is the permit.
We have a
Although that
county,
guy back there could probably.
we have an
Oh,
expert
no, no,
on
what am I?
county affairs.
No, in Libertyville.
Where's the manuscript at? Yeah, the manuscript's
Oh, it's
in
out
Lakewood.
there.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do with the building that you guys bought and?
We're in the transition of moving the museum to that building.
Oh,
Has to happen.
No, but to see the manuscript, you got to go out to the Lakewood Forest Preserve. Yes. Thank you.
okay. All right. Anybody else? All right. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn the board meeting?
So made.
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Green?
Aye.
Trustee Williams? Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd like to call the committee of the whole meeting to order. First item is approval of committee of the whole meeting minutes of February 2nd, 2016. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion is second. Comments, questions, corrections, deletions? If none, roll call.
Trustee Williams? Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Grebe?
Aye. Motion carries. Number 2, presentation for the 2016 Vernon Hills Golf Course budget.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Mayor, trustees, and staff, thank you for allowing us the opportunity to come. Mike, how are you? It's good to see you. With us tonight is, I'm Terry Hanley, Regional Manager with Kemper Sports, and with us is our newest GM, Kyle Carter, and ladies, if you don't mind, Liz Long, who's been at the course, I think everybody knows Liz, been there for 8 years, and then Jessica Schwartz, who's joining the team here, and is, has a nice connection to the club, as everybody knows, with her mom in the back there. So I'll go right into this, and in the meantime, I'll have Jessica come up when we talk about the food and beverage portion of the budget presentation. Thought it was important, if you look at the packet that was passed out, there's some notes. You can take some notes on the side of each slide, and hopefully it's large enough, but thought it was important to just look at the state of golf as a whole over the last couple of years. On page 4 of the slide presentation, talks about the state of the golf industry, and this is from the National Golf Foundation, and it's really been one of the standard organizations that we base and look at the trends as they're happening, and also use it as a benchmark as compared to the 100-plus clubs we have across the country when we look at different trends as well. And as you can see, one of the, it hasn't been a good, golf has not been a good story over the last couple of years. And in fact, you can see on the first bullet point, since 2003, we've had a decline of about 6 million golfers just in the industry alone, or 19%. And then that red arrow that's pointing to the darker shade, 13.5, those are the core, that's really what we consider and what National Golf Foundation considers a core golfer, playing more than 8 rounds a year, 8 rounds or more a year, I should say. And that since 2000, that has declined almost 29% of the core golfers playing golf. So it's been a uphill climb, primarily since 2006. The next slide actually shows that year over year. Since 2006, we've had 2 years of growth between 2006 2014. And in fact, when you look at 14 to 15, it really just had a blip of a growth with that, and again, this blends a lot of this blends resorts, 9-hole golf courses, 18-hole, 27-hole facilities. So I think the new line, or what we've looked at in our business and the core business of golf, is that if it's flat growth, that is the new growth in golf. And again, a lot of factors: oversaturation of golf courses in the market still, the fact that you can see in the previous slide declining interest to play golf. And we've been getting creative on how to get people back into the game of golf and making golf less intimidating. And I think Vernon Hills Golf Course is just that kind of a product that can bring people out and put a new feature and new emphasis on junior play, couples play, our league play, and those kind of things.
Is that's like using a 6-inch cup?
Yeah, right. Well, it's
To
interesting.
speed things up,
It's a great
build everybody's
Yeah, right.
confidence?
But you know what?
Are they actually doing that anywhere?
They come up with foot golf, and they style
I
foot
mean, like
golf.
foot mashie?
It's designed after soccer, and to get kids
Right,
involved in golf
right,
again.
right.
It's that the cup is this big, and they use a soccer ball down a fairway. And because kids are more inclined to know soccer than they are golf today.
That was the plan for Riverside.
Yeah.
But they're in
Yeah.
bankruptcy or whatever, so the course has been closed 2 years.
And plus, that has not really taken off. It's a nice concept, it's great, kids play it once, twice, and then they're done with that.
I mean, kicking it in the hole?
Yeah, exactly, so you kick it.
Well,
in
that's
the hole.
something maybe the Park District wants to provide,
So-
you know. Frisbee golf.
Frisbee, another concept that, right, took off. A lot of teenagers, a lot of college kids playing it, high school kids playing it, but it really hasn't gotten a core group playing it on a consistent basis.
But it's free.
But it's free. And it's,
Well, you're lucky Dave Brown isn't here.
so,
Where's he, in Japan or something? Hitting people in the head with the...
He's actually working.
Oh, is he? Yeah. He actually is a world-class Frisbee
Frisbee
player.
golfer.
Yeah, well,
Well, full contact Frisbee.
Yeah, there you go.
is it, yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just golf, right?
No, there's some
It's
head knock.
dodgeball.
Yeah,
Like
something.
style of rugby.
Ultimate
/
Frisbee.
Yeah, something.
Ultimate Frisbee.
And then the following slide is just a map of the United States, but it also just color codes by percentage, which states are growing. Illinois was actually up 1.4%, but that includes southern Illinois where the weather was a little better during some of the key months. So in Chicago, the rounds were similar to what the other slides show, 0.7% growth in our regional market here in Chicago and the suburbs. And then slide 7, just some facts and some stats on what the local market allows considering penetration.
Do you want to show any slides?
Well, I don't know, I think we passed out that. I'm
They're,
not
they're
sure
on
if
your
it's-
tablet.
Well, I
Yeah.
know that. I mean, I sat in a meeting for 2.5 hours with these guys. I've seen them all. I just thought we would throw something on the screen. I don't know. It's all right. They aren't that graphic anyway, it's just your notes.
Yeah, they're just, stats to look at from, to refer to, but
Okay.
I think slide 8 is important. If you look down, it's a competitive analysis of our core competition of just, when you base it on just 9-hole offerings. There are 3 golf courses that we look at, although they're, 15 miles away, 16 miles away. But just from an industry side, they've done more rounds at these golf courses, but there's some contributing factors to that. These 3 golf courses have tee time intervals of 7 minutes, where ours are 10. So our ability to have guests come out, play, and enjoy the round, and not make it a 2.5 or 3 hour round, where I think on a Saturday morning at these 3, you might end up in that kind of a scenario. So, and then also course conditions, when you have 7-minute intervals, can really be challenging to maintain because you're just out there putting players out there,
And then
all skill level.
Kyle's gonna be out there like glad-handed and moving everybody around.
Well, exactly. And we're also looking at, though, on slower days during this week, and we'll touch base on that in our goals of 16. There might be some days where we can actually take the tee times to 8 minutes on some intervals of slower days, Monday mornings, Thursday mornings, those kind of days, where it's just not that impactful with guests playing, that we can get more people out and it won't really hinder any of the round play or the quality of the experience for our daily fee players. Slide 10 is how we ended the year, and it was not a very good year for us. We had some challenges. There were a couple, there was almost a perfect storm. We had a transition of 2 longtime key staff members of the club leave and start a new chapter in their lives when OB and Jean decided to retire and move to South Carolina. That caused a little bit of a gap on the selling and the ability to continue to manage the process and really capitalize on some revenue strategies during that void. What I would like to say, though, and thank Liz Long for being kind enough and truly dedicated to the property, who really filled in and helped us maintain the property during the transition as we did the search for OB's replacement. But some of the key factors on, this was truly a revenue issue with the club in 15 on missing this, or missing our budget. June, weather played a factor. June, we had over 10 inches of rain, and I believe we had only 3 to 4 playable days of golf in June, which pretty much wiped out a lot of our rounds, not only in Vernon Hills, but across the entire state during the month of June.
Did it affect Turnberry?
It affected everybody. Every golf course we have, June was just a terrible revenue month for daily fee and outing play. We also, the early spring, April and May, also prohibit us from capitalizing on early spring and early revenues, again, based on weather. And the prior year, we had an outstanding spring and was able to capitalize and really have a tremendous impact early on in 14. So year over year, those 2 really were the factors. And then the last was going back to the transition of our general manager in September and October, managing our third-party partners that offer tee times online, the Golf Now, Tee Off Now, which is Easy Links, a company we partnered with directly across the country. That has become the new way to promote tee times. Every daily fee and every golfer is booking tee times at all hours of the day and night. They're picking up their phone, their tablets, and going on to Golf Now did a great job throughout the year, the couple, last 3-4 years, of really educating people to go to Golf Now and book a tee time and look for a value. And that's what people do now before going to, even if they have a loyalty to a course, their natural reactions go right to Golf Now to look at the best price within a 5-10 mile radius of where they're at. And managing those kind of third-party offerings is the key to the strategy to grow revenues. And we'll touch base on that in 16 of how we're going to do that. Also, with the transition of Gene leaving the course, we had a gap of about 6 weeks of catering sales slowing down a little bit. And when we talk about food and beverage in a couple more slides, I'll bring Jessica up, and because we're really taking food and beverage to the next level. What Gene and OB started and did a great job with at the club, we're just going to now enhance that and take that to the next level in 16, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Payroll, we had a increase in golf shop payroll. And some of that, again, was going back to the transition of our general manager. We had to close out his vacation pay and pay that out at a one-time deal. So that also hurt our financials in 15 when it could have been spread out. And actually, OB usually took his time January, February. So that was just, again, a couple of the attributes that caused us to miss our plan as much as we did. Our fixed costs are very minimal, as most of you know, at the club. And we don't have a lot of hourly staff, on payroll and that. So those factors really took 15 to a different level. But I'm confident going into 16 we have the right staff in place, and we have the momentum back on track here that we can make truly a good impact in both golf, our league play, our junior play, as well as food and beverage. Slide 11, again, I think I highlighted most of those. There's nothing else new on that. I thought slide 12 was important to show just around mix year over year. We did have a decrease in our annual pass of about 300 rounds over 14. And also, our non-resident play was down by about 800 rounds year over year. And again, I believe June really was impactful on that, because that is the key month, one of the key months where people are out playing. And that month alone really just hurt us an awful lot on just key round strategy and growing those rounds this year. And then slide 13, I'll let Kyle touch base a little bit about this. This is our revenue by day, and this is, again, something that that Kyle's going to be looking at on a daily, weekly, monthly basis in 16. But Kyle, you want to just maybe highlight the days that are good?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a heat chart. This is going to be a tool that I'm going to utilize. This specific.
What page?
This is
Slide 13.
We don't have 13.
So this is a tool that I'm going to utilize. This is specifically showing revenue. There's another slide further down that's a utilization report that shows actual rounds and when we're busy. But if you look here with the heat chart, you have it's colored not only by time but also by day. So at the far right side of the chart, that's going to show you our busiest our opportunity. So early in the week, we have a lot of opportunity, and then the weekends get a little bit busier. Looking across the chart from left to right, you can see our opportunities are early in the week before 9 o'clock, and then midday, so that's approximately 11 o'clock to 4. Those are our opportunities. So this is a tool that I'm going to utilize to, in conjunction with my third-party sellers, Golf Now, teeoff.com, to sell our excess inventory and boost revenues in these time slots.
This chart, right?
Correct.
That one right there.
Yeah, this was added since our meeting,
After
right?
our meeting last week.
That's good.
But it's a very good tool that, our GMs use and to measure our daily, like I said, it's a great tool on a daily basis, weekly basis, and then monthly basis to look at the trends on what's happening. And this is where our third-party partners come into effect too. If not only does the actual rain itself hurt us, but if the forecast says on a Tuesday night tonight, if Jerry Taft comes out on Channel 7 and says, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, looks like rain all day, and it doesn't rain, people don't book the tee time based on forecasts. And then you get into getting creative closer to those days, if it's not raining, how to generate interest to get out and play, even if it's overcast. And that's what this is that heat sheet that Kyle just talked about, helps understand where our voids are and our opportunity to add different rounds out at a value price to generate more play coming in.
So what if Cheryl Scott does the weather report?
More of an influence.
Huh?
More of an influence.
Probably still come out and play, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We need her doing it.
And then the next slide is just by revenue, a breakdown year over year and compared to the budget. Total golf revenues finished 2% behind 14 and 8% below budget. Again, majority of that through daily green fee revenue shortage. Our food and beverage revenues fell 5% below prior year and 6% below budget. Again, with the drop in rounds, affected the daily fee user from buying things, and then also, as I mentioned earlier, the transition from OB&G and leaving, we had a little slowdown period of catering revenues coming in, or private party revenues coming in. Merchandise stayed flat for both prior year and budget. Our key expense departments, on the next slide, on slide 15. As I touch base on payroll, our operating expenses increased 2% over prior year and 2% over budget. Nothing more, I think, more than course and grounds, really, with the rain. There was a lot more work going on through repairing the golf course and pumping out bunkers and those kind of things. And then our net income was $30,000 less than prior year. And again, as I mentioned, it was all revenue-based, all due to revenues, based on the lack of revenue growth we had this year, that we experienced this year.
Come on, I want to hear you say the NOI.
And our NOI, our net operating income, at the end of the year finished at $241.
Okay, obviously, it should only go up.
Well, it will go up. We're back on track, bar any dramatic weather incidents at the course. For 16, our key strategies, on slide 17, really point out our key strategies on how we attempted and what we've looked at, how we go forward into this year, and what formulated our budget process this year. Truly believe our number one goal for Kyle has been, and one part of the interview process was really having a general manager who's going to go out and penetrate the market through organizations, through corporate introductions, and also penetrate the surrounding neighbors of the golf course as it relates to food and beverage. And with that said, that becomes, we're going to create a loyalty strategy, have a loyalty strategy for our residents, our corporate neighbors, as well as our annual pass holders and our daily fee players. We really want to capture as many emails as we possibly can and grow our database so we can communicate on a weekly basis with our core group. We want to really capitalize on the third-party golf partners because that is, as much as we wanted to fight it early on, they are here to stay, and it is the way of life for golfers, so we're going to embrace that. And we partnered directly with Easy Links and their tee time. They're called teeoff.com, and they're ones that we trade out tee times for, and then they promote our golf course, and same with Golf Now and great greens fees. We've had success with Groupon and Travelzoo periodically. It's not something we're going to get into on a weekly basis, but early on, fall season and the fall months are great months to do that and promote some things through them. Travelzoo has been just a great partner because they seem to attract a higher level of buyer and who has the a golf interest, if you will. We found over Groupon. So we've done that. We'll talk about F&B, our banquet menu and a la carte, and what how we've taken that with what Jean did in her when she was here, and what we're doing this year to enhance that offering.
But let me ask you something, Terry. But with Groupon, would you ever use them to get people in to eat?
We will based on the trends. Our goal as food and beverages to have a soft opening and really get a system going. Our concept with food and beverage this year is to create a fast casual, quality, convenient, and value price menu. And I think the menu's there. And, but the one thing with the Groupon when it comes to, compared to tea times when it comes to food and beverage, there's a hard cost with that. Where tea times, we just have a void on a tea sheet. We can maybe drop it by $2, $3 and generate some play and not have a real impact. With food and beverage, it's a cost, there's costs associated with it. So if you get into that, customers tend to wait for the next Groupon to come back out before they visit an establishment then. And we, you know, again, it's a balance act to it. It's great to introduce and get a product out there, and we'll probably will do that to just, once we get through and make sure it's going smoothly for people. But once you do it, and if you do it consistently, then you just train your guests to wait for the next one. And nobody ever pays retail then.
Is there feedback to us then?
No,
From Groupon or no?
No, we split it. So, you know, the way that works is Groupon is 50-50. So if you see a Groupon offering for, you know, $50 value and you pay $35 or $30 for it, then that restaurant keeps 15 and Groupon keeps 15 of that 30 that they generate. And that's where I think it gets a little tricky if you did that all the time for a restaurant. We'd never really make a lot of money then.
Yeah, okay.
Have you looked into like coupons? Because I know my family, my daughter is crazy about it. They get a 20% off coupon or something like that
And
for
that-
food, and she'll go to that restaurant.
Yeah,
You know?
and Tim, that might be the way to do it with our surrounding neighbors when we kick this off in the spring and introduce it, just to get them to come in. But to do it every week or to keep going, all we're gonna do is just train them to save their own money.
Also for some businesses in the community as well.
But we might do it with the
Corporate
CDW, we
lunches.
might go out and do that with some of the
That's
bigger
an idea,
people.
yeah.
You know, just to get an introduction and give them a month to use it, just to, so they think of the Muni as a place to eat too for lunch. And I'll tell you, once we can stay on the food and beverage topic, I think it's, if it's all right with you, I can go right into that and I'll bounce back. But Jessica, do you want to come up for a second and just, I'll let Jess talk a little bit about her background, and then also the menu. You have a copy of the menu in front of you, our proposed à la carte menu. And I'll let Jess talk about a little bit how we got to this point of the menu and your background and what you plan on doing this year.
Sounds good, thank you.
You want to state your name for the record?
My name is Jessica Schwartz, and I've been traveling for the past 8 months as a chef, working in Australia at a 5-star resort and enhancing my skills. I'm pleased to be back in my hometown and being able to showcase my culinary skills at the Vernon Hills Golf Course, where I pretty much almost grew up because of my mom. It was really close to home, and it really is a home away from home for me. So it really holds an important place in my heart. So when I created this menu, I didn't want to create just any menu that you would see anywhere else in Vernon Hills, but I also I want to allure all different kinds of people that are in Vernon Hills. Families, kids, golfers, corporate neighbors for easy in and out lunches, because I know between CDW and Medline, there really isn't, we only have very few choices for them where they can go get a quick place to eat, quick lunch to eat. And also singles looking for a nice place to hang and drink, and couples. We're looking for, when I made this menu, I wanted to aim for quick ticket times when the tickets came in, which means more preparation ahead of time, and which also means.
Well, can we put the menu up on the screen?
Yeah.
Mike, can you put it up?
I don't know, does he have it?
Yeah, we don't have it. Yeah,
Okay. Well, we could bring them back.
sure. Or
Does
we can
everyone
put it
have
on
a-
Channel 4 as a part of the advertising campaign we're going to do.
Or you,
John, you are music to my ear. Thank you.
And it's free.
Menu all day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
So everything that I've put on this menu, almost everything can be prepared ahead of time, and also on the line, everyone that works at the Vernon Hills Golf Course can put it together and make it look, everything will always look the same. I also wanted to,
Yeah, what's the machine?
so what we wanted to, with the red equipment, what Roger is saying, it's called the sous vide machine. A sous vide machine is pretty much a water bath that can cook almost any ingredient, but is really valuable in cooking proteins. It's very efficient. It doesn't need to be under a hood. It can cook overnight without any troubles. It's just a water bath, and you set it up and it can cook overnight, and it can also hold proteins at a certain temperature for a lengthy period of time. So say I want to cook a beef tenderloin for a banquet. I can, let's say it takes about 6 hours to get to about 120 degrees, which is rare. It can sit in that water bath for an extra 2 hours and not go past 120 degrees. Once I take it out of the bag that it's cooking inside the water, I would then grill it right before service, grill mark it, and then it'd be ready to serve right there. So it's really efficient. It helps with, obviously we don't have a lot of space at the golf course. Everyone knows how there's not much space to work with. This would really help with banquets, and also really freeing up all the equipment that we do have there, so that I can use the ovens to their fullest potential for other sides and different things that we're really going for. And also with the sous vide machine, if you want to look at under sliders, sandwiches, and mains, a couple examples that I would be using that for would be the Island Jerk pulled pork sliders, the lamb meatballs, the spice rub brisket. Yes, those several items. You can do pulled pork in the sous vide machine, and then between those items, they would be cooked ahead of time, portioned into vacuum packed little bags, and then frozen, which means it's already cooked and ready to go, and all that needs to be done on the line is in that vacuum packed portioned out bag. It's thrown in a pot of boiling water, heated up, the sauce is already in there, you're toasting your sandwich, you're toasting your buns, and then putting it together right there, maybe frying some fries, and that's it. So ticket times are maybe 10 to 15 minutes max.
And there's a lot of 4 or 5-star restaurants that use a sous vide machine today. And to Jessica's point, it really creates a consistency. It guarantees the quality, the right temperature for the right products, and it also creates an opportunity to allow restaurants to have that ahead of time without having to cook a whole pork shoulder and wait 8-10 hours to do that. And then if it doesn't sell within 2-3 days, it's either employee lunch or thrown out. This is just an opportunity. It's just a clever way of creating consistency with some great food items and
Having very little waste.
yeah, very little waste to this whole deal.
So you're gonna be able to do brajol like that? Brajol?
Never had brajol.
Okay, I'll tell
Would
you
you
about it.
like to enlighten me and tell me what it is?
It's strip steak, but it's an Italian dish. And, it has the sauce, and it has egg, and, yeah, it's rolled up.
I worked in.
Brajol. But
Okay.
it doesn't, ask me to spell it, it'd be difficult.
I'm sure I can Google it.
I don't care. If you make it, that's okay.
Maybe it can be a special.
Trustee Cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, in doing some checking with my resident expert foodie, she thought this was an excellent addition with the capabilities that it would add.
Yeah, no, it's just really capitalizing on what Jean did the last couple of years, because she really took at least the catering side and our banquet side to a different level. And we believe there's an opportunity to capture the daily fee player and think of the Muni or Vernon Hills Golf Course as a place to hang out and call home, just not to play 9 holes and drive away and leave and eat somewhere else.
Yeah, and this would help significantly in the efficiency of.
It sure will. And we also look at the neighboring homes just around us, for those people to get in their car, go to somewhere to eat, they're spending about 20 minutes just to get to the place they're going to. And this gives them an opportunity, and we've talked about if we need a bike rack in the summer, if this takes off, and the neighbors ride their bikes up. Those are the kind of things that truly will make Vernon Hills Golf Course truly a full neighborhood place to visit, even if you don't play golf.
We gotta work with, what is that, what's the name of the cemetery?
Oh, down the street here?
Yeah. Willow Lawn, we gotta work something out with them. Get a path going through the pet cemetery to get to the bridge.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
go under the bridge, under the track.
Right, yeah, right.
You know,
So-
take the path over to the golf course.
So Terry, if I understand you correctly, you're going to look at marketing the clubhouse and the restaurant to the neighbors and then expanding it from there?
Correct.
So that you're creating what kind of concept?
It's a fast casual, because it is, you're gonna come up to the counter, order. If we're taking off and this really goes gangbusters, and our biggest problem is hiring servers, and to do a tableside, that'll be a nice problem to have. But right now, our concept is to come up, order at the bar area, put your order in, and then when it's ready, either a staff member will bring it out, or if it's completely filled, people will just come up with their number and go and get it. But everything will be served in baskets or plates, based on
And
whatever they
eventually
order.
we'll do a drive-through.
Those would be nice problems, right?
Yeah, the carts, you gotta drive through for the carts.
But it will also, and we haven't even, we didn't share with you our catering menu, that's still, we have a framework out, but again, it's just gonna take it to a different level, and be able to just make it a more seamless process for people to look at.
Here, let me,
meals.
just so, if anybody is gonna watch this, like for, snacks, starters, appetizers, portobello fries, cornmeal crusted portobello mushroom strips fried and served with our ancho chili dipping sauce. Traditional, what is that, poutine?
Poutine.
Poutine. A Montreal favorite, a basket full of fries with melted mozzarella and piping hot chicken gravy. And then the zucchini, the warm pretzels, and then the chicken wings, though, they're gonna be kind of big and meaty for $10.
I like good portion sizes. I
So
don't
more,
want to
more,
serve
yeah, I mean,
small
two or
portion
three
sizes.
people could share it, and then.
Definitely,
They-
yep.
Yeah,
I want it to have a more of a family-friendly atmosphere and vibe, where people can come and order several things from the starters and snacks and just sit and hang out and eat, or they can come just for one snack if they want to be quick and out. It can really go.
Yeah,
either way.
island jerk pulled pork sliders. A melt-in-your-mouth jerk marinated pulled pork topped with melted mozzarella cheese and pineapple salsa. Served, down under Texas toast, lamb meatballs, here we go. 2 toasted mini French bread rolls stuffed with 6 ounces of meatballs served with spice, sauce, and cilantro. Okay. Yeah, this is different, but, we'll see how it goes,
No, but it.
But the banquet choices are nice. 'Cause,
Yeah, they really are, and I think just this year alone, we just Saturday night, the course hosted an event for, I think, about 80 people, an open house kind of a style for reception, and it was nothing but rave reviews from Jessica's
Right.
culinary offering, so.
Yeah, I mean, and, I guess in reference to, how this kind of evolved to this point was, Kemper runs Hawthorne Country Club in Hawthorne Lakes. And the chef there, and then Jessie was
Jessie was one of our, she did everything, cold side, hot side, behind the
what would
line.
she be considered? More than a sous chef?
Correct.
There's something called
Yeah.
pretty much a CDP, Chef de Partie,
Yeah.
which I'm cooking on the line, but I'm also assisting the head chef and the sous chef with
Yeah,
everything.
so what we started doing, was it last year or was it the year before?
I think 2 years ago.
Well, you were gone the year before,
was
but,
2 years
but we
ago,
would have, we would have preparation done sometimes at Hawthorne, Country Club. And, bring it over and people,
Right.
so it was, it's nice, I mean,
Well, there's some good synergies there too, and it's just nice to have a full service.
I know what I threw down for my daughter-in-law's, baby shower, and it was, well-received by everybody who was there.
Yeah, well, it's great to hear,
And I wasn't hosed completely.
so.
No, it was great. It was nice. It was very nice.
And on top of all that, we're also looking at doing some theme nights. So if we have a burger night, again, maybe a little value price kind of a deal, just to create that, if it's Tuesday night or a Wednesday night, whatever those nights are, and fish fry and taco night, those kind of things, just to get people to think in this fast world we live in, that they can swing over to the golf course if they live around here, stop in, and for within less than 45 minutes, have a dinner and get out at a value price deal. And those have been well received at a lot of our properties, offering à la carte menus.
Yeah. And Lou will be bringing like 40 people at a time. I ain't mentioning Lou's name, but, Lou's a good guy. But I can bring 40 people. Okay, bring them.
That's right. Bring them in. We'll help drive. Let me know.
I'm gonna tell Lou to watch this program, this meeting. Okay. What else?
Part of the other strategies in this, we talked a little bit about the utilizing our tea time sheet and all that. The goals for this year on slide 21, just so you can see that, our total revenues, we're forecasting to grow by 4%. Reduce payroll by 5%, and a little bit is that fixed because we did have 2 senior staff members with Gene and OB retiring leave, so we saved some money just off the top there. We're keeping our expenses flat this year, and the biggest growth is, we've just talked about, is food and beverage, has taken that about 10% growth. And then the last strategy is merchandise revenue, and that's to look at the offering in the pro shop. And Kyle's already reached out. We're going to have a little bit more variety from vendors, but they're all going to be priced. We'll have one. Nike is usually the one that's going to be a little bit higher priced than the others, but Cutter and Buck, FootJoy, those kind of purveyors have some great product at some reasonable pricing. So I think we'll have a nice blend of offering in the pro shop this year going forward, and we look to increase that by about 4%. And our 2016 EBITDA or NOI is $35,500. And then the financials follow that, and our capital, proposed capital investment is also on that, and really that the capital investment ties to the food and beverage offering. We've looked at adding a couple more TVs to the clubhouse, and then adding some highboy tables that just create a little buffer in between the 4 tops and the smaller tables to between the bar, and order new bar stools as well, so we just have a uniform look as we open up this.
Well, the TV that's behind the bar is gone. It'll just be a bigger TV. The racks coming down for line of sight with
Correct.
the glasses hanging. The TV, the big TV's gonna stay.
That's gonna
right?
stay, right.
Yeah, and then what about the TV,
In the pro
near the
shop?
fireplace?
That TV's gonna stay as well.
Okay, and then you're adding 2 TVs?
2 TVs, they're gonna go above the bar.
Or they're gonna go in the
Facing-
soffit that hangs over the bar, kinda?
Correct.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
One on one corner and then one on the other side, just so the people who are dining would have a view of,
Yeah.
unobstructed view.
Well,
if you will.
and the other thing is, the number of TVs, you don't, ever want to proliferate it, so we're to the point where it's going to ruin pictures when people are having a shower or reception, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where all of a sudden there's TV.
Yeah, right.
Like you're at B-dubs or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Okay. So how big will these 2 TVs that are added be?
2 TVs, roughly 36 inches. When we made measurements today, we have roughly 22 inches that we have to play with and that facade that's right there above the bar.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So then,
How big is the TV back by the fireplace? 40?
no, that's 55 inches.
Yeah.
No, I know that one. I'm talking the other one by the fireplace.
The other one by the fireplace, I believe that's 36 inches. I haven't measured.
Yeah. Well, that size would.
But that's the
That would be
size.
fine, I mean,
That's the size that I was looking.
Can you even
looking to
get a 36 inch? Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I thought it goes 32 to jumps to 40 now,
But-
Anyways.
But, the goal is just, again, just to, if, assuming we are successful with food and beverage, that they have sight, people have a sight of, especially during the NCAA tournaments, and baseball this year, both teams are rated to do very well, so
But
we'll have a lot of.
more importantly, we got to do a freebie night or something, like a restaurant does.
Correct.
Just invite, a lot of people come in and try the food.
Exactly. And it allows the staff to work through the kinks too, as long as everybody, and then that time, we'll have probably 2, 3, maybe those nights, just based on the interest. But our goal is to then get some immediate feedback by having people fill out comment cards that evening on what they like, what they don't like, what their suggestions are. So we can then regroup quickly, make any changes if we have to, and then be able to launch this out to the public and to our neighbors.
Yeah, but, and then, backtracking to what people have now, there will be a hot dog.
There will be a hot dog.
Correct.
Just a hamburger.
just a- right.
There will be just the old cheeseburger.
Right.
Yes.
But it will be a darn good cheeseburger. I can guarantee that.
Well, you gotta put on some, special
So-
sauce or something. Okay,
A very talented chef.
okay. All right, is that about it? We don't need anything else, do we, tonight? Any questions from the board? Yeah,
Well, thank you.
trustee Hebda.
I just have a couple of suggestions
Sure.
that you might take to heart or at least try. I think you've got some, first of all, I was at a shower there and was quite impressed, Jessica, with what you did. And I'm very happy that you're going to be there. Nothing against you, Jean, but your daughter is a very good chef. So, but I was wondering, as you go through this stuff, you might want to mark it through the cable to talk about you, Kyle, so people don't know you, also your wine experience that you're trying to bring to the table. You talked about wine tasting, that kind of stuff. That's a great resource for people to at least communicate. And then the school, I think the football team does this little card that they sell in the fall.
Yeah.
And it might be really nice to get your, if you get a meal, it's like, so much off. So
Yeah,
they sell, and that's something to talk to the athletic director at Vernon Hills High School, because then you're going to hit all of these people in the community that the boys go out and sell their cards or soccer or whatever. But I
Yeah.
just think that might be a good resource to talk. There's a lot of ways of doing
you're
that
absolutely
stuff.
right.
So
And
just as an idea.
Those offerings are much better than a Groupon because
They really are,
it
'cause
hits to a
parents
neighborhood,
use
it
it,
hits
right.
to, exactly,
Yep.
to a school in the neighborhood, and people are loyal when they know it's going back to their, whatever that organization is,
And I
but especially
believe
schools.
the golf teams, don't the girls golf at the
Uh-huh.
9 holes? So, I mean, there's a great resource
Oh,
there
there's-
too
yeah,
for people.
right.
We're glad that you're here and look forward to it.
Yeah,
It's
no,
very
but
nice.
those are great suggestions,
just
and
some
those
ideas.
are,
No,
but
absolutely.
that's the exactly way we want to do this. We just
Sure.
want to do segment marketing, and once we've done that, then we want to go to the corporate side and be able to go hit a company at a
Absolutely.
time
Yep.
and not get overwhelmed, but just be able to introduce this
Oh,
to one
yeah.
company at a time,
Absolutely.
let them come out and even have a night where it's their after hours, and, and have that one company come over. It's
So-
just a good way to spend, but to get loyalty.
So
to the
Nikki,
golf
do we
course.
break even this year?
Depends on your definition of break
No, I'm.
If you take
Well, we
out
do
the
the capital
management fee,
improvements,
yeah, if you take out the management fee and the capital improvements, recognizing this is a village investment, and we're taking on the capital improvements there, from an operations standpoint, we did well, about break even, taking out the
Hence the NO,
management fee
I-
aside, yes, yes.
we get the whole 241?
241.
Or is that a split? Is that an answer?
You get
We
it
did
all.
get that,
You
the
get it all.
contract with Kemper, for it to be a revenue sharing with Kemper, they do have to exceed a certain amount of revenue.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah,
just a
well, I
flat
know, I mean, with the
40,000.
capital improvements, yeah, we're not,
Correct.
this year we took a hit, But, yeah, okay. Do we need any capital improvements? We always do, right?
Well, I mean, we have $65,000 that's built into the budget
Yeah.
coming into this year, so.
Yeah.
And that's everything from the cages that were crushed on the ice and heavy snowstorm earlier this
Oh, okay.
winter, and some work on some of the bridges and things like that. So, yeah, so there'll be about $65,000 per program this year.
Sure.
So.
Well, you gotta do it, okay. Okay, all right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it, as always.
Thank you.
Eventually, you'll make a decision on, obviously, the team is here tonight,
Correct,
okay, and there'll be closure on that after this meeting.
after this meeting,
Yes.
Yeah, with Liz
and with Jesse,
Yeah,
correct.
okay. All
Great.
right, well, you're on the record, that's good.
So,
You
yes,
know,
sir.
so, All right.
Thank you
All
all.
right, guys.
Appreciate
thanks.
Thank you all for your
everything
time.
as
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Remember, Kyle, this is your year, baby.
Absolutely.
Okay, what else? We got, well, we got something else. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, is somebody here for this? Amusement company operating an outdoor special event at Hawthorne Mall. And this, Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, this is the same event that we've seen over the past few years.
Yeah.
It'd be in the same location, in the Sears parking lot adjacent to Milwaukee Avenue, just north of Denny's. Same company, Fantasy Amusement. The hours of operation would be the same. It would start Thursday, June 2nd. It would be from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., Friday, 6 p.m. to 11, Saturday, 2 p.m. to 11, and then finally the event closing Sunday, June 5th, from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Attached to your packet is for tonight, if the board thinks the special event is appropriate, then staff should be directed to prepare a resolution approving the special event. Subject
And
to,
who is this gentleman?
this
I'm
is,
Bill Johnson, Fantasy Amusement Company President.
Okay. Where are you located?
Arlington Heights.
And where do you store your stuff?
Everything is in Peatone, Illinois, down by Kankakee.
Really?
Still waiting on an airport.
Yeah, it's basically the same as past years.
yes, same thing.
Okay, a motion to approve?
Second?
Motion is second, under comments or questions. Chief, we had any issues at all with?
Never.
And this is what year? How many times have you done this here?
I've been there, this is my third year. We had a year that we couldn't get in because of the building, and now we're back. Yeah. So-
Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, so there's a motion and a second. All right, roll call.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Grebe?
Aye.
Trustee Williams? Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
No rain this year, I hope.
I hope.
Yeah.
yeah, no kidding.
Talk to the golf course.
All right, next is, Kids Castle.
Thank you, Your Honor. Representatives are here tonight from the Park District to talk a little bit about the Kids Castle project, or refresh your memories on that, and then formally request a financial contribution from the village to help offset a portion of the costs associated with the new structures and related improvements. In your packet is information with regards to the project that the district provided, including the cost estimate, including all fees, which is $600,000. The fundraising information, also talking about the playground and associated facilities that will be constructed or added out there. We've also included in your packet information regarding projected impact fees from developments, residential developments primarily, that we anticipate will be coming through the development review process or is in construction right now, and the amounts of impact fees that may be generated from those at some point in the future. The only one certain, as you know, is the Lexington Homes project, which is under construction right now. This is the completion of the Opus units, and we expect them to generate about $162,000 in impact fees related to the Park District contribution. So, as you know, and as a reminder, we do have an agreement with them with regards to the loan that was made to them to acquire the former YMCA project. They have been very good so far in repaying a portion of that loan out of the proceeds from the Oaks development. Currently, the outstanding balance on that loan is approximately $900,000 at this point. And the like. So with that, I'll turn it over to the president of the Park Board, Jim Ballou.
Good evening, everyone. Like I said, I'm Jim Ballou with the Park District. Along with me is Cindy Kessler, fellow commissioner. And we are here this evening to answer any questions, first of all, that you would have on the project that we've put up on the boards in front of you. But second, just as a reminder or a refresher, Kids Castle was built approximately 20 years ago. It was a very involved community project. There was a lot of fundraising that went into it. A lot of people put a lot of time and effort into it. It was basically built by the community. A company called Leathers was the company that came in and helped build the playground. Believe it or not, Leathers is still in business, but they now build plastic playgrounds. I think a lot of the same concepts. The problem is with the wood structures, they no longer meet codes. The insurance companies are really they're not high on them anymore. With the castle we have now, that's gone now, but we had a lot of issues with repairs and maintenance. The wood was a big issue, and also 20 years ago there weren't what they call entrapment issues. That's where kids' heads and arms get stuck in small spaces. You design things because everybody thought it was fun, and it was we all enjoyed it. We all grew up with them. We didn't have a problem, but nowadays you do. And so those were two of the major factors that we had to remove that facility, and then we'd like to build a new one. And so we've come up with some master planning. We've gotten the community involved. When we tore it down, we had over 150 families show up to help with the deconstruction. We had in-kind donations from, I think it was Chick-fil-A did the lunch, and what was the breakfast? I think Corner Bakery came out and did the breakfast. Home Depot donated like 150 hard hats with the logos on it for everyone to wear. They were there and supplied some other tools and equipment. So we've tried to make it as much of a community project as possible, because that was the whole the theme behind it when it was originally built way back 20 years ago. We've also back then there were brick pavers sold for people that wanted to donate, and that's how they raised some of the cash. We've done the same thing, so we've got that program going again as well. We're also preserving all of the old pavers. They will be incorporated back into the new project. The project is also designed to be handicap accessible, so that anyone can get in and out of there. We're also looking at a soft material that'll be on the ground. It's a spongy type. I forget what the actual term for it.
Board in place.
Board in place, okay. But it's so for falls and things like that, you land on a soft surface. It also can add some color to the site.
The non-carcinogen stuff.
The non-carcinogen, yes. It's not the loose stuff, yes. Okay. Another feature that we're going to put in over there is a bathroom. Always something that was asked for, and we had a porta-john over there for many years, but now it's going to be a full flush bathroom, running water. That will be part of the site.
So is that about $100,000?
Yeah, well, that may
Where's
be.
the bathroom?
Well, it's pretty
Where is
close.
it on
It's
the
pretty
site?
close. It's not shown, but I think it's,
It would be around this area.
Because there's the bathroom down by the parking lot, correct?
yeah, if you go towards
You
the
go
parking lot.
towards the parking lot, there's
Right.
the bathroom there, yeah.
Right, but there's going to be one right there on site, and with the, when the Lake County Public Works did all that work, where they tore everything up, we asked them to run us a water line. So we got a water line and sewer line so that we could, something eventually, we didn't know when it was going to happen, but it happened sooner than we thought. So, so basically, that's kind of the history of the project, where it's gone. And when we met, I think we met with John back in the fall and talked about, trying to come up with monies and things like that to build it. And so we're here asking you for a little cash. So
Yeah, and your total budget is how much?
right now it's 600, but we haven't received the bids yet. So I mean, it could go up. I doubt it will go down, to be honest with you. So, but that's kind of where we're at.
If you gotten any cash donations
what-
corporately?
What's,
I think we have some, but
Just
I mean-
75,000?
we got about 15,000 cash in corporate. A lot of our stuff's in kind. Also, we got a donation for the fence that's going to surround the property, and that if we were to go bid for it, it'd probably be close to $100,000.
So somebody's gonna do it?
Yep.
That's better than a stick in the eye.
Yeah.
Okay. So the playground equipment itself, what do you figure that, signs, the restrooms?
I'm gonna have to ask Jeff. 275,000.
For the equipment?
Just for the equipment, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, going back in time, and I don't know, if guys, was that included in the memo, what we, like, we contributed 20 years ago?
Actually, Jeff has done some great research and talked with some folks, and our understanding is there was a $25,000 cash contribution that the village made back when the original project was done.
And then Public Works
And then
time.
some in-kind labor and some material donations that went along with that.
Could Public Works be utilized this time? Putting it up.
A little bit with, it's not the actual site equipment, that's gotta be done by.
But the site?
Playground. Some of our park staff and Public Works, Dave has offered with like putting benches in, some of the tables.
Yeah, okay.
Laying some of the concrete.
All right.
Yeah, the actual construction of the equipment has to be done by the certified professionals.
Right, that's
Insurance
fine.
coverage and everything, so.
Okay, but you know, I guess what we're not including in the donations that will be forthcoming to you, all we included was what, the remaining at the Oaks, and then the TIF district with Lexington?
Taxman's proposal,
For the six-story building?
correct, the Pulte proposal, and,
So how many millions is that?
well, if you do Lexington current under construction, Pulte projected, and Taxman projected, about 1.36 million.
Not including Pulte.
No, that does include Pulte.
And that includes the remaining building of the Oaks?
That's already been paid.
Still
So,
has been paid?
yeah.
All right, so
that's
it's
already been paid. 1.3 million.
Okay. And then, at some point, we could say with a reasonable degree of certainty, there's gonna be another 250 townhome rentals at Melody Farm.
Yeah, no townhomes, just apartments, by the.
Oh,
abs-
250.
Was,
260.
yeah.
So what kind of numbers
That-
is potentially gonna come out of there?
That number for the Park District would be 942,000.
So all of a sudden, we're over 2.2 million.
Correct.
Okay. And of course, what did we all joint venture on this last summer or whatever at
The Oprah.
Hawthorne and,
The Oprah
you know,
property.
Lakeview?
Yeah, the Oprah
And
property.
how much did we contribute?
I don't know I don't remember what you guys.
Oh, you got it, come on.
Is it 1.5?
That's a good number, 1.5 what?
1.5 million.
Just say it a little louder.
1.5 million.
Right, okay.
And so we put.
Well, you know, so,
and we
I
put-
mean,
And we put 700,000 in, and as part of the impact fees, right now, we're looking at over 600,000 in improvements to that property that we will be making to.
yeah, and there's no grants that exist anymore.
No, there
Since-
are no grants.
Since our legislative partners have not come running to you, have they?
No.
Well, they better not, because don't have a pot, you-know-what in. Okay, well, I mean, 20 years, if we did, 25,000 and gave you Public Works, I'll take suggestions from the board then. Do you want to contribute anything? Or do you want to just say, hey, you're getting $2 million? Because we're not keeping any of it, except that, well, we gotta keep some of it because of the loan we gave you. So, I don't see, there's light. Trustee Hebda.
I just have a couple of questions, and you know as well, I love kids. But I also want to know where the fundraising went with the woman who came to the board. What fundraising, or I guess, what amount of money do you have right now for this?
So, my understanding is that we have 75,000 that came in kind donations. And she was here, I believe, presenting it back last year and talking about making this a joint effort between the village and the park district. This is considered, I guess, as a special park, being that it is really a community-involved park.
I'm going to clarify that for you.
Okay.
As we met, we told her, if you need our help in going out and talking to corporations, that was the joint venture. So I just want to clarify
Okay.
that. That's what I heard from this board.
And was that offer ever,
But I don't think that
taken
offer was ever utilized.
So my understanding was that there was a lot of approval on your end, and that there was a commitment, or not a commitment, but a intention that you wanted this to be a joint effort. And so with that directive, we have budgeted this, we had the kids design this, this whole community team was involved in this. And so I'm standing here thinking we are doing this as a joint effort. And if it's not, then we're needing to probably do some redesigning of it, because this was not the direction we were going with. We were going with the joint effort.
Well,
And
and
if we
and
have
so
mis-
any and all, segueing to any and all improvements at the Sullivan Center, what kind of number are you looking at there?
The Sullivan Center?
Yeah.
What?
About 5.6 million.
Yeah, for that.
Which we're
You're gonna go to referendum?
No, we're gonna, limited bonds we'll use for that.
Or can you
And then
include
Mike-
some of this into it?
Well, this wasn't, I guess we were still looking this as a community event. And so it was the community with this team that had designed it, community of families that have been out building it, and the involvement between
Well, there
you
is
guys.
no building going on. I mean, all that was the tear
Well,
down.
well, I
Because
gotta
the
say-
other one was built,
You're right.
and all the materials were donated.
And I was out there for the tear down, and I had actually a father who came out because he was not able to be there at the time when his kids were young.
Right.
For it. So, I mean, and I think there's going to be still with when the build up, we're still going to have some family involvement with the bricks, I believe. Wherever we could, we're trying to make it a community.
Well, do you have any of the citizens' groups' records regarding what efforts they really did make?
Yeah, just that, it was just the hours, it was mostly hours of,
So
time
what's-
to put in.
No, I mean,
As far as,
did they email? Did they write letters? Did they,
yeah.
make the emotional appeal to the business community?
I can't say I can't speak for that, for the business community. I know she did it for the kids in the community, the parents. She went out to the schools. She worked the neighborhoods. I mean, I know that was done. I can't say.
So they didn't go after anybody that's got a fat wallet.
I can't say that. for
Well,
sure.
could you find that out?
We can, yes.
Well, I mean, you should, I mean, if you're gonna go, if you're really, because, I mean, I'm not adverse to jumping into the fray on some of that because of, and I'm sure the board does too, but the people we know. But, I don't think we're prepared, I mean, I don't think we're prepared to sit here and throw down, the $300,000 or $350,000.
I don't think that was the number we were given.
What number are you looking for?
We were given two.
200,000.
I think we had asked for 250, and I think there was a
Consensus.
consensus of coming down to two. So that's what we had kind of budgeted for our numbers. And so if you're,
So it was kind of a number we were
This could be
We were
finished.
given, but if it's not, then that's why we're here to find out. So,
Okay. If this could be finished in what, like a couple of months?
It'll take about a month.
About a month.
Right,
month put together.
okay.
are there questions?
Well, I mean, okay, as far as, do you need to do excavating there?
I don't know how much.
Probably, it'll be limited, not much.
The site's pretty well prepped?
The site, I think it's pretty well prepped.
What's the blue on there?
That's just a different color of that, the surface. You
Yeah.
can make it in different colors, so,
It's not water.
a water theme.
Well, I don't know, it does, I might as well ask, All right.
It's the moat around the castle, to be
All right.
honest with you, so.
Well, I got all kinds of light here, so maybe
I
there's,
have one more question.
Okay.
I'm looking at the brick that you can buy. I noticed that the cutoff is March 1st. Why March 1st not to be able to buy a brick afterwards? That's what's on Facebook pages and on one of your commissioners'
Because I think that was our timeline for when we were gonna go out to bid to
Okay.
get the project moving.
So that's basically done. after
Well,
that.
unless something changes, it may.
and how much did you raise with that?
Sounds like what, 15,000? No,
I think it's 15,000
15,000.
in bricks so far? Or 5? I don't know how much.
It's a little over 10.
A little over 10, okay.
So there's
That's-
more
That's in the
bricks that could.
75?
Huh?
Sorry. That's in the 75 that you talked about?
Yes.
That's correct.
Do you have I know you're gonna go out to bid and you don't know what the numbers are exactly, but do you have some sort of an idea of what the total cost of this is gonna be?
It's about, we're guessing, we're not guessing, we've been given by the professionals somewhere around $600,000.
So you want a third of it from us, 200,000.
Excuse me. Trustee Cook.
Well, my question was going to be the number you were looking for in that, and I'm really not opposed to it because, again, something I've set up, for many years up here, that it's the same constituency. We all represent the same people, and I don't have a problem coming up with that. I would have been, $350 would have been a different story, but this is a good park. I'd like to see us, reestablish it.
Trustee Schultz?
Ditto to what Trustee Cook said. The only thing I'd like to add is, it was my impression, and I guess maybe I was in error, but it was my impression that it was going to be a joint venture, and 200,000 is the number I remember from our original discussions when we had the citizens here. So that's it.
Is anybody adverse to still raising money, since it doesn't, so the committee raised how much money?
75,000?
And how do you break that down on a?
I don't have the breakdown between.
I mean, is there, how much, it's not 75,000 cash
No,
in your,
no, it's more in kind.
you're going in kind?
About 15,000 in cash.
And then where does the other 60 come from?
The fence is a donation.
Yeah,
Could
okay.
be north of 60, Mayor, but that's the number.
Okay, so it's just 15 cash,
Yes, sir.
and I mean, everybody working out there where you're supposed to. Hell, I remember building the first one, So, okay, so it's 15 cash plus whatever what kind of fence is it? It's like a little, aluminum
No.
kind, no?
They're used in equestrian style.
The plastic,
So it's a hard plastic.
it's a hard plastic, they're like white.
They're used on.
It'll look like a split rail or something?
It's actually, the company is called Lakeland Plastics. They're in Wonderline.
Yeah.
And he builds them and designs them specifically for large scale horse farms and equestrian farms.
Okay.
And he's donating, it's on the
I
perimeter.
was going to say, is this designed to,
It
do
shows
you want
it
me to
on-
show this?
Is this the one? I mean,
Yeah, you have it in his drawings, yeah. What you don't see is though, it's a 5-tiered and it's all.
okay, so it's got the one rail running through the middle of it approximately, right? It's kind of split rail, but, okay, but anyway, it's what, a couple of 100 feet or more?
Well, the perimeter, the entire scope of the space is about 8,500 square feet.
Yeah, but the perimeter?
Cover just about the entire perimeter except for the entrances. So I'm not sure what that equates to in terms of linear footage.
Yeah. Okay, so that's about it. Okay. I'm just curious as to what the committee's,
And obviously the rest.
Well, who did they, if they did just work through the schools and they didn't,
I don't know that answer. I didn't work with her, so I can't speak for her.
well, come on, Jeff, I mean, so who were the driving forces there?
So there's Amy Lamberti, who you've
Yeah.
all met as our
Yeah.
community liaison. And so her effort is to get out to any of the community members. Our staff person, Jessica Mitchell, she does all community relations. Her effort is to reach the businesses.
And did
so
she?
She has been, yeah. She's been,
So
that's
nobody responded?
There's very little, like I said, I think we've raised between the bricks, which was about just shy of 10 grand. So and then we got a donation of $5,000 from a local resident, Base Limousine Service. He's a Deer Path resident.
So out of that 15 cash, 5 came from this
From
one?
him, and then we've had some generous, Mr. Kenny donated, and we've had probably another 10 or 12 individuals that have donated like $100, $250. The brick sales are really doing well. And Amy has been hitting all of like our youth basketball programs, wherever there's a lot of people. They'll be at the craft beer festival, wherever we can try to get population and trying to sell bricks is important. But it's, Jessica has been.
I'm sure the high school's got the bricks, because the bricks at the high school were like a lot of corporate bricks, like a CDW, an American Hotel, and, you know what I mean?
Well,
If
I
you look
think
at the bricks.
The
around
original,
the
original playground, we sold 350 bricks. And, Gene and Rick were really committed to that. And so, a lot of those people are still here. And
How much gas did that generate?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I don't know if you remember, Gene, but I don't know the
Cash.
number. Cash
Bricks.
on the bricks.
Yeah, I know, it's a while ago.
Yeah, I think I want to say they were like $25 and $35 increments.
Yeah.
Now it's 50, 150, and I think 300, or 75, 150, and 300 for the size of them. So
Okay.
we're still working on it. I know Amy's working on it. We've got a couple months here. We're going out to bid in probably the next month. The timeline is to get this thing under construction in May with, a completion by late June. That's the
All right, could you,
timeline, weather permits. So.
get the list from your employee.
We will definitely
who
get
she
you,
went
I will
to.
share with John a list of who we've reached out to, and we would be more than appreciative and get support from the village board
Well, I'll be
to
more-
assist us in our endeavors.
I'll be more than happy to call somebody,
Yep, we thank you for that.
because I'm not bad at doing that for the golf tournament we do every year, Yeah, okay, what can you do? Just, email it to me, or email it to staff, and they'll email it to me, and.
Sure.
I just want to see what effort was made, Yeah, well, I'm not adverse to, to putting some money into the pot here. It sounds like, the potentially $2 million in other impact fees, is going to be used for what?
Well, we owe you 900,000.
Yeah, well,
So-
we know that, trust me.
Take that out of the 2 million and the remaining, and then we're estimating with the OPA park development, future park development, which we want to try to get at probably in late 17. We want to get through this summer, get through all the festivals next summer, and then that's our game plan. That's about 600,000 is what we're estimating. on
Before
that.
the whole state went into the crapper, what did you get, in Morton Grove? What kind of grants did you get?
Well, every community got OSLAD grants if you
Right.
had good projects. We had a lot of success with a lot of the parks in Vernon Hills that were OSLAD related.
Going back before?
Or DCEO had significant funds that we had. The whole, ComEd Row that we did with the bike path, all
All
through
over
Grosse
Grosse
Point. I mean, we got good grant money on that, Lake Charles, but the OSLAD program is in hold right now.
Right.
And we had a really good application, we felt, with Deer Path Park, which we're going to start this with Kids Castle. In addition, we're doing all the 6 tennis courts. We're redoing the path that is all going north through the playground up through Warrington. The county, as you know, did everything south up to 45. And we're redoing the 2 ball fields, new covered dugouts, backstops, new netting. We're putting a new batting cage in. So we're master
At the
planning
Deer
that.
Path.
That's at Deer Path,
Right.
yeah. And that's about 1.3 million for that total project.
Yeah.
So a lot of the impact fees that we're very gracious that
Yeah.
we have this relationship with the village, but everything gets dropped back into that. And as, Jim maybe talked about, we've got obviously the Sullivan Center project that we're starting, looking to start, that'll in April.
Well,
of this year,
in
so.
that we're just talking impact fees, let's face it, though, there's going to be a steady stream of additional property tax, flowing out of some of these projects, too.
Sure, very helpful.
I mean, like Pulte, and of course, not on the TIFs, right? So the impacts are important there, but the taxes are flowing like out of the Oaks. I mean, it's what, 330, relatively new units, so.
Right.
I mean, okay, So what's your revenue a year? I mean, what comes in through
Through
all magic places and property tax?
So through property taxes, it's just shy of 6 million. Our annual budget is about 11.
And so where's the other revenue come?
So from fees and charges, it's about 60/40. So about 60% of our budget is through property tax, the other 40% is through just,
Is there any surplus at all?
yeah, we've had some pretty decent surpluses.
What kind of
yeah.
surpluses what do you got?
20 to 25% is what we target for.
I mean, okay,
So-
but, do you have 10 million bucks in the bank?
No,
Okay. You got 2?
yes.
Okay, well, I mean, it's, okay. All right, okay, trustee Marquardt.
Just going through, I'm opposed to some money, but again, I don't recall the 200, but still in some of the, still some of the things is, I know bathrooms. Bathroom definitely will cost $100,000. So that's something that doesn't have to go into there directly at this time. So that's something could be put, I would say, to the back.
Yeah,
of
put
the
it over,
programs.
well, if you did it over a couple of years.
Yeah, the bathroom, Mike, is about 60K. It's a solar, Jim can explain it more, because we stole
Not as
it from
big
the
as,
county.
well,
It's a single stall solar
This isn't like a
operated.
communal bathroom. No, so.
You already got the piping in place, right?
Well, yeah, that's correct. I know the drinking fountains are crossed, so I know you have water
Yeah, we
and
have-
sewer right
there's
now.
water
So
into
that's
it.
one of the
It's a-
bigger expenses.
It's a solar evaporator type toilet system, so it has a large tank that sits underneath it. And then the little germs all sit in there and eat up everything, and so you have to pump it like once a year, if that. Some of them will last a lot longer, but we'll have the water there to wash your hands if you want to get drinks and all that other things.
Okay, yeah, all right.
By the way, I did a quick calculation. You're looking at about 1,000 linear feet of fence.
So it's a pretty good donation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's a guy I went to high school with, and he's a good friend. And so I reached out to him, and he helped out. Yeah.
And he's in Mundelein?
He's right off Butterfield and 60, back in that industrial
Okay.
park there, yeah.
All right, so the consensus is, somewhere approaching $200,000.
I would
Is that
say,
accurate?
Yes, sir.
But with that said, I would still like to see this list. And I mean, if we came up with another 50,
I'll get it to John first thing in the morning.
you'll give the 50 to John if we come up
I'll
with
give-
another 50?
I'll give him the list.
yeah, I would
Well,
like,
I mean, yeah, I mean.
I would like to see us go to our businesses area, and I have to probably admit,
So I gather if we-
Roger's one of the best for,
If we can get some contributions, that would lessen your.
Yeah.
your
Well,
allowance.
That's at least what I'm.
That's what we were hoping in first place, but,
That's my frustration right now, is that we haven't gotten that, and we extended our hand out there to help, and we didn't hear back from either Jessica or Amy, and I think that's what we're saying is, if we can help you, we'd like this to help off some of that, because I sit here and I love the park, and I don't want to deny it to the kids, but I also have a budget for human service grants. I have needs out there for families that are abused, that don't have homes, so I've also got to think about those folks too.
Right.
Love the kids, but we've got other things as well, so if we can get
Yeah.
some help from our corporations, that's wonderful, so. But no, I don't want to deny these children this, but that's the frustration that I'm sitting at right now, and that was the discussion, and I don't think that was clarified very well.
and how about all the profits from Rib Fest?
We use those towards our family scholarship program.
And how much did you make?
10 grand this year.
And that's
It's
great.
better than, it's better than, what was the first time, 3 or
$241.
4 years ago?
Yeah, first couple of years, it was a learning process. We
Yeah,
had to-
and you're more conservative on the entertainment.
Correct, which didn't seem to affect the crowds one bit.
No, I'm not, that's not an easy process, I know that. We are, from our experience with summer celebration. All right. Okay, does anyone want to put forth a motion of contribution on this?
Yeah, I'll direct staff to create the necessary budget line item for $200,000 to support the construction of Kids Castle in the year 2016.
And-
Second.
And we'll also need to do an agreement with them that talks about timing of the payments and
Sure.
when that occurs and the like, so that would be part of this.
What do you mean, on the 900,000?
No, on the 200,000.
Yeah.
No, we've already got the 900,000 all locked up in a separate agreement. So-
Oh, yeah, I mean, when we're gonna pay it.
Yeah, exactly. When we're gonna make
Well, could, you know,
contribution.
The first agrees.
what do you want, okay, but do you want to do it over two fiscal years?
The payment of the 200,000? That's up to you. I mean,
Well, I'm just asking.
we have it blocked in.
Well, that wouldn't hurt you, would it?
We have a placeholder in the budget right now that has the 200,000.
Well, I know,
fully
yeah, I
funded.
know.
So it's up to you.
Okay, I mean, does everybody want to go boom right now? Or do you want to do it over?
I don't.
Well, the only reason I bring up over two fiscal, budgets is what if we raise, 50, 75 grand?
Exactly.
I
That's
agree
all.
with that. That's,
You never know. Chief, if
Does-
I'll
does
bring
two
the
budget
chief
cycles
with
work,
me,
though?
and they won't know what's coming.
Does-
Hey, we got a chief and I have to have a
Does
meeting
two
with
budget
you.
cycles work for,
Leave the AR-15 home.
does it work for you guys? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, well, all right, let's do it over two, but let's now, I'll be more than happy to help concentrate on maybe raising some more funds, because we weren't enlisted at all.
Okay, so the first amends it to be the 2015, 2016 budget year of 100,000 and the 2016, 2017 budget year.
No, 16, 17, 17, 18.
There you go.
Okay,
that's correct.
There you go.
16, 17, and then 17,
Because
18.
15, 16 is about done.
Okay.
Good, okay.
Okay. Is everybody clear? So is there a second?
And can I just want to clarify, I'm sorry, trustee. And that any contributions that may be raised by the board will be used to reduce.
Let's do that subject to further review.
well,
what do you mean?
I don't think you're gonna, no offense, Your Honor, but we only generate, about 15,000 or so in some heavy lifting for the Alzheimer's, and now this year, for the last couple of years, for Chris Casey. And I
We're only
don't-
charging $500 for a sign. Maybe I should up it to $1,000.
Well,
I wouldn't, Jim, that's,
Well, no, I guess what I'm saying is
Yeah.
that 50,000 is a lot of money, I think. That would take a hell of a lot of effort, so.
try it. We haven't tried it. That's the thing.
Well, we've got the 17, 18 budget year.
Okay.
Well,
To work with.
yeah, again, it's worthwhile, though, maybe the letter flows from, your president? Maybe it flows from myself and I, but then, I bring the chief with me when we go sit down with these people.
Okay.
I'm only kidding, chief. But it might not hurt, but anyway, okay.
Okay.
I don't mind putting a question mark on
Understand.
the additional monies, but
Right.
maybe it's not gonna hurt either party.
Okay.
So.
So we'll do a joint letter.
Yeah, once
from
we
you
get
and
the
Jim.
list, and then we'll add it.
I'll get the
There's
list.
other people we can add to the list
Yeah.
that are beholden.
Okay, so you have a motion and a second
Yes.
right now?
All right, motion is second, and this is to do it over two fiscal years, up to 100 grand each year.
Yep.
Right.
And then we're still gonna pursue trying to help raise some, corporate, money, donations. Okay, roll call.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye?
Trustee Grebe?
Aye.
Trustee Williams? Trustee Hebda?
I vote aye, but I expect this board to support me on my human services grants when we go to budget.
Very much so.
Trustee
Add that
Schultz?
as a qualifier.
Haven't we always done that?
Yeah,
Aye.
but I might ask for more.
Okay. Aye. You know what, I'm gonna even say aye for the record.
Okay.
Okay,
Good, thank you.
I thank you very much for our great relationship we have. Thank you.
Go for it.
yeah,
Plastic.
yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta just, we gotta get certain things paid off collectively, At least we're doing pretty good on the TIF, huh, Nikki?
Well,
How about in the Kemper, though?
We got some work to go.
All right, let's go. All right, what's next? The community survey optional questions.
That's me, Your Honor. I'll be quick. In your packet tonight is 11 possible questions that might be something that we could include as a part of optional questions in the community survey. The direction I got from you the last time we talked about this was try to relate some of these questions to the strategic plan or the strategic plan priority list. And in that, in the attachment, there were 7 items that were really the top grouping of priority items that were identified in the strategic plan back in 2011, 2012. So the questions that you have in here, I did my best to try to relate those to you. Obviously, the top ones were being following legislation. We do that anyway, so it's hard to ask a question about that. Economic development with the mall and Hawthorne Commons, that's done. So we begin to then progress down into.
What happened to the senior housing?
I'm sorry?
Senior housing. Where?
It's in here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So
All right.
what you have is a clustering of questions that go, that relate to, senior-related services that the village offers and trying to see what people know or don't know out there. That's question number 2, and that has a series of five individual questions under that topic. The third question would be, should the village encourage development of more affordable senior housing? 4 and 5 deal with an issue that's being experienced right now, and that's the drop-off electronic recycling program, and do we want to consider doing something like that? And if so, would residents be interested in paying a fee?
What would it cost us to do?
I don't know. Again, some nominal fee. So if you had a television set, and if we said you got to pay $5 or $10 to do that, would they be willing to do
Where
that?
do we take it? I mean, who takes the electronics?
Some individual locations. Jim mentioned Grays Lake takes. There's a half a dozen.
Where's the recycling? I mean, what do they do? It's
Yeah.
recycled, right?
Yeah, and I don't know where they go,
For
but they.
certain keys, precious metals.
Yeah.
The only problem is a lot of it, they were just putting into cargo containers, shipping them to China, and there's a couple of towns in China that are basically dying because 80% of the population has an incurable cancer that's caused by
Right.
exposure to,
Love.
they burn everything off.
well, that's
all these
tires.
toxins
They
and-
burn tires and.
Yeah,
for the
it's
milk.
not pretty where it's at right now.
Well, is there any, isn't there rare
There-
earth
Yeah,
metals in some of these
There's
products?
gold.
right?
There's gold that's in there,
Yeah.
and those other things,
Right.
depending on the age.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a question there about whether we wanted to do our own type of program, and then questions 6 and 7 involve how do people obtain their information about the village, and what are the best ways for us to find ways to communicate with folks. That addresses resident communication. And then questions 8 and 9 were something that was raised, and we actually reached out to one of our larger commercial real estate folks to talk about where do people shop if they don't shop in Vernon Hills, and then how often do they actually shop outside of the village. And then finally, the last 2 questions would be, should Route 53 be built? And then finally, an open-ended question that if you gave somebody one thing that they would want to improve about the village of Vernon Hills, what would it be, or change, or something like that? And that's an open-ended question that people could write in the answer itself. So, as noted in the memo, we get 5 questions for free. And then anything above that, optional questions, I should say, above that, we start paying about $1,800 a question.
So where are we at on this as far as?
Well, my suggestion would be that 5 questions that we may want to look at are focusing on the senior-related services that the village offers, asking the question about the drop-off and electronic recycling program. That would be questions 2 and 4. Questions 6 and 7, which would be how do they get information and what's the best way to communicate with you? And then ask the final 2 questions would be where do people do their retail shopping, And if you could change one thing in the village, what would you change? And those would be the 5 questions that we would ask, or actually it'd be 6 questions. That would be the 6 questions that we would ask as optional questions on the survey. So.
Well, it's out. If we go with, you're talking 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 11.
Actually, I'm talking about 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 11.
So we don't need the 3, because we already got it?
Correct. Or that may,
And
that
if we
may,
bring more in, all the better. Yeah, I know. And, all right, and then blah, blah, blah. 6, 7, 8, and 11?
6, 7, 8, and 11, yes, sir. Those are the kind of gives us a fairly broad stroke, and I'm gonna look at 6 and 7 and see if there's some way maybe we could combine them into one question or do a little bit of adjustment
And
there.
then
but-
this will be, whatever some changes come in that are, obviously, worthy, we would add them to the strategic plan.
Correct.
Modify the strategic plan.
Correct. What,
So there'll be, okay.
What you're going to see come out of the survey, we'll see the survey results come out. What we've included in the proposed budget is bringing in actually a consultant to work with us on updating the strategic plan.
Yeah.
And then from there, creating goals, and then hopefully what we can do in the midterm is create some performance measures that we can apply going forward.
Right.
So that we can drive some of our decisions based on some data versus some of the other ways we've been doing it. So that's my suggestion. If you're okay with this, I'll just go ahead and continue on to modify the survey. My goal is to have the survey out in about a month. A month to 6 weeks is what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
And it'll all be online. There'll be mailers going out to residents and via cards to notify people, and we'll do a big campaign on that too, so.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Trustee Schultz.
A couple of questions. I'm assuming early on, we get all the demographics, number of people in the household and annual income and all that. That's part of the base, isn't it?
That is part of, let me look at the survey real quick. Yeah, the base information talks about employment status, how many years you've lived in town, what kind of house you live in, what kind of rent do you pay, household income, and then ethnicity. So.
Education?
I don't see.
Don't we have that in the
education.
census?
We do.
That's true.
And there's a lot of stuff in the census.
That's
Yeah, we-
You know, Christ,
true.
you know. I mean, I don't think we, well, I don't.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we don't have
that-
I'm sure the
Valid
school's
point.
got a lot, huh?
Yeah, valid point. The other thing is, do we want to use this as another educational opportunity to tell people that we don't charge them a property tax?
The survey? Ah,
Okay,
I mean,
just,
you mean, what do you want to ask? Well, this would be the question, right? We don't charge you any property tax for the village. Would you like us to?
right, and
Oh, yeah,
reduce,
that could be a.
That would be,
Well, no,
that'd be a
and-
winner, I mean.
and/or reduce other taxes, but
Yeah.
whatever. The other is, how much is additional questions?
About $1,800.
Yeah.
Did you go to any of our other partners, the school district or
I
the
did
park
not.
district? See if they want to buy a question?
I did not, because part of the issue was the length of the survey as we
Sure,
have it now.
understood.
So there are some basic questions that ask about the surveys or about the services of other districts, but this is more
This could be online,
Yes.
phone, or just online?
online.
Yeah,
And you'll
that's
have the
fine.
ability to come by Village Hall if you want to do it by paper.
Yeah, if you answer the survey, we let you come to the 9-hole.
For a burger. That's all I have.
Sure does. Okay, is
Thank you.
that about it?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Yep, second.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Grebe?
Aye.
Trustee Williams? Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Motion carries. The Meeting's adjourned. Thank you and good night.
Is there gonna be something included in that?